When I asked people for questions for you before we recorded, the number one question was, how the hell does Peter Pham raise so much money over and over and over again for the companies that he works with? I think you will be the first to say it really comes down to the founders and their vision and kind of what they're building. Outside of that, right? So don't spend a lot of time on that. Yeah. Outside of that, what makes a good fundraise and a bad fundraise process now that you've gone through it so many times and been so successful over the years?
Yeah, numbers put it is that I've probably done, for the science portfolio companies that I'm deeply, deeply involved with, we've raised somewhere like $700 million. The companies that have advised, helped friends raise, been a part of, whether founder CEOs, myself, tack on another probably billion. So probably somewhere in the realm of about $2 billion. And that's, it's over a decade or so. And a lot of that is, it turns out to me, it's numbers. So in every round, no matter what, we're talking 70 to 100 people. So lots of no's. So I'm somewhere in the 7,000 no range. No's or soft no's, quick no's, and I'm going for the no. I'm trying to find the person where time and space just align. Like, I am looking for that investment. I am thinking about that space. I have the dollars to commit at this point. And it turns out the system is pretty inefficient, right? You just have to find the investor in the right moment, in the right frame of time to get a yes in most cases. The most important part of this is the story. So countless times and I think my superpower and the skills, I can take most ideas, most pitches, and just reframe it and tell the story in a different way that will be more compelling. You have to remember, this investor, I think I can empathize, which is they want to be part of the journey. Like, what's the hook to make them feel like they're almost an employee of the company? Like, so where they want to be excited to work for this company. That is the missing link. The other is what we call FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. What are the things where it's obvious things are happening and the momentum's starting to happen, and if I don't get you to come on now, you're going to miss out. So it's framing the story and the information and the data, and every stage is different. So I'll be more practical. Super early, I have an idea. At idea phase, it is really kind of, I call it 3 phases of every pitch. What was the world before? How did the world look before? Before iPhones, before 4G, before Google Maps, right? What exists now that allows what you're doing? What's changed, essentially? So if you look at Dollar Shave Club, well, what changed was like subscription. I can mail things, right? Using media postal service mail for like $2. I could ship everything all over the United States for very inexpensively. I can now create and get things from Asia here much, much cheaper. It's just easier, right? I can now email market. I can reach people on Facebook. I can reach people on YouTube. That's what's different, right? Liquid Death, what's different? Instagram, people love sharing, right? People don't drink as much. Plastic. So like, what in the world around us has changed to allow you to succeed? And then what are you doing differently than anybody? So basically, what do you know that I don't know and the rest of the world doesn't know that's special? So those are kind of the phases. Like, what did the world look like before? What does the world look like today? And what are you doing to take advantage of that? And what's the world going to look like? That's kind of like the story hierarchy of any startup. And I think if you just thought through that a little bit and get to the story quickly, right? I call it cocktail conversations. Whoever you're telling the story to, whether or not they're the decision making or saying yes, they have to articulate that very quickly in a sound bite and something memorable to somebody. It could be their spouse, it could be their colleague, it could be their partner, it could be their friend group. Because a lot of most investors want some validation that they're not absolutely insane for doing this, right? So a lot of times the complicated story is too complicated. So what is different? Why now? Why are you different? Distilled down to a very simple story. And then the last would be, I have this kind of plan. Once you start growing, no matter the phase, seed, A, B, C, D, can't believe I'm talking. I rarely don't talk about this publicly. Okay. For the 30 days, for the 90 days leading up to the fundraise, okay, kind of go backwards. For the next 30 days, as a founder and CEO, you have 20, 40, 50 things you're trying to get accomplished. Focus everything down to 3 things that you know you can move the needle and make it go up and to the right. What are those 3 things? And it's not always this top line cumulative revenue. People think revenue. It's not revenue. It's percentages. What's the percentage of people renewing? What's the percentage of people coming back? What is the conversion percentage? What is the average order in the cart going up by? So it's showing that things are getting better, right? So as an investor, I want to know, whoever gave you money last time, did you learn and did you grow, right? Were you efficient with that capital? Because when I come in to invest, I kind of want to, in a way, feel like, well, I'm taking advantage of the last investor. Like they put in all the hard money. Mine's the easy money, right? So you have to prove that the money that you took, here's what I did, here's what I learned. And it's starting to happen. These things are really, like, we learned a lot. We took the last investor's money, learned a ton, and now really starting to ramp. And I'm going to take your money and increase that ramp. And so no matter what the startup, you can have and see that data. So we have the company Pray.com. So with all this lockdown stuff, churches are closed. So Pray.com is subscription content, similar to Calm and Headspace, but all based on religion. So what would investors care about? Well, not just new subscribers. Are they listening to more content on each time? Are they converting from download to paid, right? Are more logging in? Are they more sharing it? Essentially velocity, velocity, velocity. You want to find things where you're seeing an uptick in a percentage uptake, because top line revenue to me can be bought in any startup. Give me 10 million, I'll buy $10 million of revenue. That's very inefficient. What you want to show is for every dollar that comes in, I'm making things faster, creating more efficiency in the product. The consumer love for it, since I do with consumer, show me for a fact that people love the damn thing. Well, 25 random people getting tattoos, people getting married with it, people, I think we saw 500,000 posts so far on Instagram, 500,000 about live or death. Well, that tells you people truly, authentically love it, right? Oh, and by the way, it's been in Whole Foods now for 2 months. It's now outperforming vitamin water. It's out, we're seeing acceleration every week, week over week, more and more cases being sold. So then if I extrapolate that out as an investor, I say, whoa, okay, so if I give you money and there's more distribution, you're going to keep growing. So it's all about storytelling, right? But when you look at the details of the data, pick 3 things that you're going to focus on as a founder and CEO and drive those things and tell a story of why there's correlation and causation, that these things are important for the future of the company. And it always comes down to cohorts. And if you don't know what the word cohort means, look it up, right? Like the customers that came in this week versus the customers next week versus the customers, like follow the journey of those customers and show that the customers that came in last month versus this month, everything's getting better, right? There's logging in more often. Their average order is higher. Like Amazon, take a big company. Amazon Prime, well, not just how many people are Amazon Prime members, but how many renewed? How are they spending more month after month after month? Is it worth launching this other thing? Well, yes, if they spend more money, right? Velocity, velocity, velocity. I'm sure as like most people, the number of boxes showing up at your front door is increasing, not decreasing in time. So, well, that means they're doing better. Take that same example and take it to your startup. There's always something that's getting better. If it's not, it's probably not working. Like if you can't find anything in the data that shows that there's some velocity happening, even a small number, even if I don't care if you have 100 or 1,000 users, something has to be picking up steam. If it's not, time to move on, time to change ideas, time to change strategies, because even in a small sample, you will find something that's interesting if it's working.